First opened in 2017, there's a look at the beautiful state-of-the-art Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, GA. Today, it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. Young Wk4 all set to do the honors, and we are underway from Atlanta. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. Going quickly out wide to Moore. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. With these run-pass options, we often talk about a good quarterback and running back. Well, having a talented wide receiver helps also.
Yeah, even coming in third in the discussion, sometimes that means he really should be first, because all you want to do is get the ball in their hands and let them make the big plays downfield.
To throw on second down, Drew. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's third down. This defense for the Falcons, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Rolling to his right, and he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. So likely a 3-and-out on their opening drive. That's not a good omen for a team that's lost 3 straight games.
Too many threes that you're mentioning right there. That's a number they've got to get off of. And the big risk you're running right now is discouragement amongst the ranks. How do you keep them up? How do you keep them motivated? They've got to dial up something to give themselves some confidence.
We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And it will be Falcon football. Falcons 1st and 10 here as Ritter gets them ready at their 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. He'll drop to throw. And complete to Drake London. And some room to run now. Drake London, touchdown, Falcons. Drake London, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons will jump on top of the game's first score here this afternoon. Wk4 able to connect on the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Wk4 to kick off. And no return here for Agnews, and they'll bring it out and start the drive at the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Early on, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And he fires one that's intercepted. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much. And it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On second down, it's Barrett. Room here to run. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown Atlanta. A great effort there. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Falcons are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out and start the drive at the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
When people talk about plays being blown up, that's exactly what they're talking about. That's Exhibit A for physical play.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a second and 11. Operating from the gun. Drew. That pass complete to Moore. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. That catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career. That draws him level with Lance Allworth, who was a Hall of Famer with the Chargers back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the man they call Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. So just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield. And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Back to throw again. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. There's Trimble, the tight end. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 27-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They've needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Troy Anderson, the man on the tackle.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Second down, here's Chubb again. And pretty good running as he'll be close to a first down at the Falcons' 19-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with third down coming up. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to fourth down. Well, we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point of drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they got 3 now. They hope that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Toward the sideline, and that is a nice catch as he's able to tiptoe his way out of bounds.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Down.
Second and 4. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. 2 yards on the pickup there. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3. After one, a 14-3 ball game.
It looks like, yes, it is 6 defensive backs on the field for Carolina.
They're going with a dime set. Now back to throw. And that will be incomplete.
Sometimes the game is pretty simple. Put a few extra defensive backs on the field, give them nowhere to throw the football, force the incompletion, and get off the field on 3rd down.
On 4th down, Matt Araiza sent on to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. A special teams mistake there, no doubt. Just 26 yards officially on the punt. And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10.
Okay, great.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches.
A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Now Chubb running right. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
Sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They run it again with Chubb. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
This offense so far on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Drew. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. He'll look to throw.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Back to throw here.
Got his man. It's London. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick a down, any down, even third down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Barrett, and he'll grab a gain of 5 out of this up to the 41-yard line. The Falcons at 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they got off to the tough 0-2 start, but come off a very important first win of the season last time out.
And it's tough when you find yourself at an early season crossroads, but that's exactly where they were. At 0-2, they were thinking if we fall to 0-3, things can spin out of control. But now at 1-2, they shouldn't feel the need to press out there. They're now back in a good spot. Find a way to win some games and keep moving forward.
And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
He was brought down.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. Touchdown, Falcons! Kyle Pitts, 55 yards. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers, or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside.
Okay, ready?
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. To throw again. Drew. Over the middle. Hauled in by Campbell. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
A lot of work to get away and outside of the pocket, but no actual yardage there on the catch. It's second down. They rolled out of the pocket right, and I think he wanted a little something more out of that play, obviously. Instead, he hit a safety valve.
It looked like two well-coached teams there, even though there was no yardage gain, because the offensive guys, hey, they realized their quarterback was out of the pocket. All the receivers went to the right spots, tried to get in his sight line, tried to open themselves up. Just nowhere to go where they could gain yardage. How about the defensive guys, though? Did not lose leverage and kept their poise and made a really nice play.
It's the first catch of the game for Kupp, and he's got a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and starting to put together some drives.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for, a really good change of pace back.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And he is not going to go anywhere. They're going to get to him behind the line, and that is going to get us to the 2-minute warning. Second down, here's Chubb again. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
So 3rd down, and the Falcons going with a dime. 6 defensive backs. Looking to throw. Drew. And that is incomplete. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays that give themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone. Now here's the Panthers special teams unit to try a field goal for 3. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. We'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10.
Ready?
Now a give, right side. It's Barrett, and he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. Now the Panthers going to signal for their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Call that a 48-yard punt and made even better by a loss on the return. And the Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked by Tarvarius Moore. And the Falcons are going to take possession of the football. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A gain of 39 that time. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts as the first half is winding down. And the Falcons are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the lead opens up now to 22 points. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
So we are at halftime here in Atlanta with the Falcons out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Let's go. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. It's a room to maneuver. And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Falcons come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. 1
From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. A CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on third down, Drew. Got an open man, that's Campbell. And he's got room. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. That's their first time getting to the quarterback. Sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but just show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
Looking for Campbell downfield. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Marcus Jones picks it. And the Falcons will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
They'll start this drive out on the ground, and he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 143 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Barrett. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Ritter's pass completes at Pitts. Touchdown, Falcons! Kyle Pitts, his 3rd touchdown of the game and 4th on the year. And the Falcons have taken a 5-touchdown lead. Koo able to connect on the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
7 yards there and a 1st down. And again, it's Chubb. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Drew. Throw left side, complete to Cup. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. So it was already a gain on the completion, but tack on some more with that penalty.
Absolutely. No matter what angle you're making the tackle from, you can't grab the face mask, and that's just putting your defense on its heels just a little bit more.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. On the jet sweep, here comes Moore. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. There to stop him on the defensive side, Lorenzo Carter. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Atlanta, Georgia's the spot. I'm glad to have you along for the ride. 3rd quarter action, 2nd and 10. The throw over the middle, taken in. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
From the gun on 3rd down, Drew. And this is going to be incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
On 4th down, Drew. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Richie Grant. There he goes, left side. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half, and for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick six.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. As confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
In every game that's ever been played.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Nick Chubb, 75 yards. And the Panthers are able to at least get one score back. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
The Panther offense staying put. They'll go for two. That's caught at the one. And he will get into the end zone as the deficit moves from really bad to slightly less than really bad. 3 quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. We'll see a return here from the end zone. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out from this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
On second down now, it's Barrett, and some room to work. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. A great play there. 77 yards. And the Falcons are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 20.
And as he's dropped it to 23. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a fourth straight loss. Pretty solid run here on first down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. And Chubb will try the middle here. Tackle made by Grover Stewart.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
The offense on third down, they're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This is 3rd and 4. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. That caught by Trimble. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10. They go up the middle with Chubb. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Back to throw. Drew gets this to Campbell out on the right side. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 30. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Looking to throw. Drew. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
2nd down and 7. They'll try the draw here with Dobbins. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down in the backfield. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. To throw on 3rd down. Drew. That ball caught by Campbell. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the 4th quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
10 more there and another first down.
Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now, but as you've mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
They'll run with Chubb. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, I know defensive coordinator is going to be pretty excited about what he just saw there. Great knockback by their front. And now with the ball where it is, I would expect to see the offense throw the ball on second and third down here.
They'll try again with Chubb. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown. But they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
And they would not be denied on the ground, powering it in just one play after they got stopped short.
And how about how many tight ends are on the field? Because in today's NFL, we think of a tight end more as a pass catcher. But this group, they tell them you've got to be able to run block to stay on this team. And they committed to it and got it done right there.
Now, here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst, and if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head, because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
And they will take a knee here. And they'll take a knee as the clock runs under a minute to play.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Atlanta, it'll be a .500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll try to make amends next week as they host the New Orleans Saints.